legacy of Batman has evolved with time, and there have always been changes along the way, introduced to prevent the fans from experiencing monotony. However, I think that the new upgrade of the Dark Knight, as he becomes the powerful Immortal Legend Batman, is one of the coolest versions of him that I've seen in recent times. He has a new armor that's powered by dark matter, and this gives him certain superhuman abilities that he needs to protect Gotham and the entire galaxy. The new Batsuit has already become the talk among the fans, and I thought this might be a good time to bring you some of the insane facts about the new Batman's Immortal Legend armor in this video. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What is the setting of the Immortal Batman storyline? Before I delve into the unique details of Batman's Immortal Legend armor, let me quickly take you through the premise that introduces the concept. The story is an epic Elseworld saga set in a distant sci-fi future, where Batman and the Bat family battle cosmic threats spawned from the Shadow Universe. Here, humanity has expanded across the stars and multiple planets have been colonized. The dark matter has been mastered to some extent to make interstellar travel possible, but it all changes when the barrier between our reality and a deadly parallel universe is breached accidentally by the technology. It's up to Batman as the legendary cosmic warrior to use his new armor and safeguard humanity. The comic series has been heavily inspired by Japanese tokusatsu, and you can see that from the armor design as well as the combat moves that are executed. Now, let us quickly check out some of the insane features of the new Immortal Legend Batman and his armor. The Dark Knight now has a unique new attack. The Immortal Legend Batman has a new finishing move that will blow your mind, and this one is called the Bat Press, which is a super-powered kick inspired by tokusatsu and Kamen Rider attacks. When Batman activates the Bat Press in the final moments of his fight against the Two-Faced Man, which is a shadow creature disguised as Bruce Wayne, he leaps into the air and strikes a dynamic Rider-like pose. He then bellows Bat Press and delivers a devastating energy-powered kick straight to his opponent's chest. The impact is so powerful that it injects the enemy with concentrated binding energy, which causes the opponent to explode in a fiery blast upon contact. The technique looks visually impressive as well, and it's potent enough to obliterate dark matter creatures from the Shadow Universe. I think that the Bat Press is something that is more reserved for the non-human enemies of Batman, because the regular humans will not require something so powerful. This is one of the Sentai-style special attacks that have been introduced in Batman's arsenal, and one can draw similarities with the Rider kicks from the iconic Japanese superhero. Is the new futuristic version of Batman immortal? Well, the name does suggest some form of immortality, and it's easy to be mistaken about his mortality given how his superpowers and supersuit work in this version. However, the new Batman is not literally immortal or ageless. He can be killed, which adds the slight vulnerability that is required from such a character. However, what the likes of Batman, Robin, and Nightwing have going in their favor is that the general public in the story often believes them to be immortal because their heroic identities never seem to die or change. They have managed to keep the illusion of immortality alive because the mantle and powers have been passed down from one generation to another. In reality, Batman is still human, and he uses his futuristic armor and cosmic energy powers to gain certain superhuman abilities that still do not make him immortal. It does come in handy to be perceived as an immortal because it adds a sense of terror in the heart of the enemy, who can be misguided into thinking that Batman and his allies are unkillable. Batman now has extraordinary super strength. The Immortal Legend armor grants Batman extraordinary super strength, which far exceeds any previous versions of the character. His extreme strength is actually a result of advanced technology of the times and the fusion with cosmic binding energy and dark matter that enable him to perform feats that are normally impossible for humans or even metahumans. Just to give you a quick example of his powers, Batman can easily lift fully grown adults with one arm, and he's been shown to crush reinforced metals. He can punch through solid stone or even heavy starship hulls, and the power even shows during hand-to-hand combat situations, when he throws enemies several meters without any trouble. He also shatters his robotic opponents with a single blow, and the super strength will surely come in handy when he takes on even more powerful adversaries in the upcoming issues. And believe me, they are coming. The incredible durability of the Incredible Legend Batsuit is one of his new superpowers. We've always known Batman to be extremely durable, and he can easily withstand hits and blows that would leave a regular human immobilized. However, the Immortal Legend Batman takes things up a notch, and here the new Batsuit makes him all the more durable. There's a moment during his fight with the Two-Faced Man when Batman summons energy bats to act as shields and block the shadow energy. During the process, he takes several powerful hits, but there are no signs of injury or fatigue. There's even a sequence where Batman is hit by a truck and he walks away without any trouble. While we are yet to find out about the true extent of the new Batsuit's durability, it can be said without a doubt that he's still capable of blocking shots, and his levels of resilience are up to superhuman levels. His defensive powers that can be executed to protect him from attacks only add to his insane durability. Batman now has the power of flight. Batman has improved on almost every aspect of his fighting skills in this hostile new world, and one trick added to his arsenal is the power of flight. He's even evolved beyond his previous gliding ability, and powered by dark matter and shaped by binding energy, the new Batsuit can transform into wing-like extensions that allow him an impressive aerial mobility. When the cape morphs into actual wings composed of shifting dark matter, it allows Batman to control his precise movement in the air. He can not only fly, but also fly at great speeds that allow him to exceed the speed of flying vehicles at times. He's now more capable during a chase sequence, and he can intercept and disable moving targets very easily. Batman remains so agile while in the air that he can dodge incoming gunfire and obstacles based on his pure instinct, and the wings have advanced maneuverability. Also, it's worth noting that the new suit has a flight system that's built for both atmospheric and space environments. Given the nature of the new setting that Batman finds himself in, he's now capable of pursuing battles beyond Earth, and it makes him a true galactic superhero. The Immortal Legend Batman armor can transform on command. This has to be one of the coolest features in the new Batman armor, and the transformation on command ability allows him to instantly summon or dismiss the suit. This makes the transition seamless and dramatic. I wish they had added this feature earlier because it's so handy for the Dark Knight. He can activate the transformation by reciting his motto, "Become the Knight," combined with a specific gesture over his eyes. This immediately triggers the armor to materialize around him within seconds, and the transformation will remind you of sequences in Japanese tokusatsu or Power Rangers shows. In order to deactivate the suit, Batman simply has to tap his belt, and instantly the armor is back to its energy form. It appears and disappears so fluidly that aside from the obvious tokusatsu influence, the feature also adds the much-needed futuristic touch in his overall appearance and powers. It also adds to his combat readiness, because now Batman can respond and react within a matter of seconds, and this is certainly a lot more than his usual persona of a masked vigilante. I love the transformation on command feature all the more, because it helps in preserving the mythic quality and legacy of Batman's identity in this version. The Batsuit can control his spaceship. When you have to take on galactic threats, the normal version of Batwing will never be enough. The Immortal Legend Batman has a personal spaceship in order to pursue his intergalactic missions. If this wasn't cool enough already, Batman also has the feature in his Batsuit that allows him to summon the spaceship using it. The fact that he's able to do so also indicates that the spaceship might actually be built and powered by the binding energy of this universe. And this is another feature that adds to his combat readiness and makes the whole thing look so futuristic. Batman's energy bats are extremely powerful weapons. Among all the attacking features that Batman possesses in this version, his energy bats are the most potent of them all. He can summon energy bats made up of dark matter, and these are versatile and powerful projectiles or weapons that Batman conjures out of his palms. The energy bats can be shaped to suit different combat requirements, and they can act as explosive bombs because they detonate on impact when hurled at the enemy like a grenade. The explosion can cause significant damage to targets and the surroundings, which means that the explosives are powerful enough. On the one hand, the energy bats can also be used for defensive purposes, and they can form shields or barriers that block enemy energy blasts and physical attacks. Also, while Batman is not using them as explosives to deter his attackers, the energy bats can also be transformed into sharp, blade-like weapons that are capable of slicing through advanced weapons and other objects effortlessly. The energy bats are particularly deadly against creatures from the Shadow Dimension, and they're a necessity in a universe where the enemies are far superior to the mortal enemies Batman usually comes across. They're certainly more useful than the mainstream Batman batarangs, and we've already seen him use it constantly as part of his fighting style. In close combat, this bladed weapon will prove to be a valuable asset for Batman, and the feature is quite different from the conventional Batman gadgets that we're familiar with. Why does this version of Batman wander across space? Immortal Legend Batman wanders across space, and while this might seem slightly unlike Batman, the real reason is connected to his father and the legacy that he lives by. The current Batman inherited the mantle from the previous Batman, who is also his father, but the father figure expressed his regret for passing the mantle too soon, because he feared that it might be too much for him to handle. However, when a shadow attack demanded the challenge to embrace his new identity, Batman was ready, driven by his rage and a strong sense of duty. In the narrative, Batman slowly abandoned his duties and left his partners Nightwing and Robin to fight the shadow threat alone, and this led him to wander the extremes of space. However, it also goes on to show that Batman doesn't just carry the emotional burden and responsibilities, but also the consequences linked to his father's past choices and failures, which makes his actions all the more important. Batman still has his martial arts skills intact. Everything might have changed for this new and futuristic version of Batman, but he still retains the martial arts skills that we've known him for. Of course, the new suit and its superpowers have enhanced his hand-to-hand fighting style as well, but the familiar moves are all still there. His kick has charged into the powerful energy charge kick, but it still looks the same, as do his Super Sentai-style finishing moves. It would have been disappointing if Batman couldn't fight at all without his superpowers, But the all-new Immortal Legend Batman leaves no room for disappointment. It's not surprising that people are calling this the new era of Batman, and the fans are all excited for the upcoming issues of this comic series. Is there a veiled K-pop Demon Hunters reference? This version of Batman might be inspired by Power Rangers, but there's another similarity that caught my eye. If you're familiar with the Netflix phenomenon K-pop Demon Hunters, you'll realize that Batman has some shared similarities with the design. The origin of Batman's Immortal Legends is similar to K-pop Demon Hunters Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, where Robin, Batman, and Nightwing have inherited a long-standing legacy as a trio of monsters. The appearances are also not completely alien, and you can tell that the creators were inspired by K-pop Demon Hunters in terms of designing the characters as well. Marvelous verdict. The new Batman series is shaping up nicely. I'm always up for something new and innovative, especially when it comes to our beloved Batman, and the new Immortal Legend Batman has been quite impressive so far. The new storytelling, combined with the all-new superpowers acquired courtesy of the new Batsuit, has become an intriguing prospect for the future. So far, I've discussed almost all the features of the new and futuristic Batman and his armor, but with new versions of Bane, the Riddler, and Poison Ivy all set to make their debut in the upcoming issues, I think it's safe to say that you'll see the new powers pushed to their limits, and maybe we'll even come across a few more of the hidden features. I also can't help wondering how cool an animated adaptation of this comic series would look. Do share your thoughts on the all-new Batman comic strip in the comments below, and don't forget to tell us about your favorite features and superpowers among the ones I've discussed in this video. If you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.